Your emotions who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out, and take upon the mystery of things. As if we were God's spies and we were out in a wild prison, pacts and sects of great ones that ebb and flow by the moon. King Lear, upon such sacrifices, my Cordelia, the gods themselves throw incense.
Hello, this is me again, Zahra Jawad, just fixing my mic. So, what I've discovered, I have to show you. Uh, Here are my notes: self discovery after a lot of contemplation of the soul, spirit, and why worship idols. Let me see if anyone is here. Please, if you can leave your questions for later after I explain these things, and then I will, if you have any questions, and if anyone's going to join me here. So, my question is, if God is so compassionate, why can't He accept the worship of idols? Because He can't accept lies against the true reality, which He says He is. Quran Surah Ayat 31, Surah Ayat 30, 22, Ayat 62, 23, Surah Ayat 116, etc. And He can't accept that anyone be associated with Him. Quran Surah 23, Ayat 116 says He's the Lord of the throne. Then why do we find in Surah Takwir ayats 19 to 21 another messenger who has the power with the Lord of the throne? Are the idol worshippers doing this in defiance of the one true God reality? Left with the Quran ayats and examining them about the idol worshippers, I found this statement by idol worshippers: our fathers were doing this. Here is the full ayah, Quran, Surah 2, verse 170. And when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, sorry, am I going too fast? They say rather, we follow that which we found our fathers, our fathers doing, even though the fathers, even though the fathers understood nothing. Sorry, excuse me. Nowhere they guided. I think I'm very tired. So even though the fathers understood nothing, nor were they guided. Sahih International Translation from Quran.com. And there are from multilingual Qurans. Thank you. But more I can find out from the present idol worshippers, i.e., Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains. What is fire and what is the soul? I will show this later. I found out about Agni in the Britannica and Wikipedia. What I had to rely on from the Quran is, if you don't know, Surah 16, verse 43, ask the people of the message, but had to ask the idol worshippers too, if they had any knowledge. So I could be killed for this because, you know, there. I feel there were people who knew about this, but they didn't say anything. I don't know. Like Hafiz. Oh, wild deer of the desert. I think I understand half is Shirazi the poet now, a little bit. So it's been quite funny and things, roller coaster ride and horrifying. So sorry if I'm cracking up and all, but had to ask the idol worshippers too if they had any knowledge and guidance and where this came from to them. Seeping through the Quran verses, I recently found clues from ayats on the Samiri caste against Moses and its one true God about the fire and draw an inference. And I drew an inference since the Quran lacks in full knowledge about the spirit. So, for example, since the Quran lacks knowledge from the Spirit, I had to, and it is said here, 17, Surah 17, Ayat 85. They asked thee concerning the Spirit, say, the Spirit is by the command of my Lord, not a very good translation, anyways. Of knowledge, it is only a little that is communicated to you, even Yusuf Ali, oh man, in brackets, right? So the knowledge, it is only a little that is communicated to you. About the soul, the Quran states that it's prone to evil. Surah Yusuf, Ayah 53, Quran. Noteworthy. Now we have a difference here. Noteworthy, Moses also wants to see God, but God refuses. God refuses to show his face. And here he's forgiven. Surah 7, Ayah 143, Quran. And when Moses came at our appointment, and his Lord spoke to him, his Lord spoke to him. He said, O my Lord, reveal yourself to me, that I may look upon you. He replied, Never can you see me. However, behold this mount. If it remains firm in its place, only then you will be able to see me. And as soon as his Lord unveiled his glory to the mount, he crushed it into fine dust. And Moses fell down in a swoon. He did not die. Remember, he went in a swoon, meaning he fainted. And when he recovered, he said, Glory be to you. To you I turn in repentance and am the foremost among those who believe. The female Quran Abul Ala Maududi translation from Quran.com. Moses forgiven, but the others killed and then given life. Surah Baqarah 2 of the Quran, ayat 55 to 56. God talks to Moses from the fire. So you can, like here, I will come back to some other, or no, I haven't given these verses, but you can see where these people were killed, but Moses was not killed. Moses just went into a swoon, meaning he fainted. God talks to Moses from the fire. Yusuf Ali translation of Surah 27, verse 8. But when he came to the fire, a voice was heard. Blessed are those in the fire and those around, and glory to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Surah 27 again, verse 9. O Moses, verily I am Allah, the exalted in might, the wise. So here, God uses the fire, remember, right? And if I'm unable to complete my live stream, I'll continue later with the explanations, how I realized that something is wrong here. So you can see the difference here. Moses was not killed, according to Surah 7, verse 143, Quran ayat. Moses was not killed, but these poor people, as we are told in Surah Baqarah, were killed. Moses was forgiven. They were killed, but then given life, given back life. So, how fair is this? Even Moses, such a great prophet, gigantic of his time, wanted to see God. So, how shall I put it here? That there's this discrepancy, and uh, so God talks to Moses from the fire. Now I wanted to know what this fire is, and I couldn't find out. Like My thing is that I want to know the origin of everything. If my true all knowing God, one reality, knows it, then He will give it to me. As I contemplated many years back, what is water? Uh, Maybe I could go to the Hindus and explain to them, that our God has given us everything. We know what water is, where it came from, what is the origin of water. But I couldn't do that because I couldn't find it in the Quran or in the Imam's sayings and explanations. Kafi, the book on Agni, the Hindu goddess of fire. A lot of information is available in the ancient Hindu scriptures. Back to Quran, Surah 2, verse 170. And when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, rather we will follow that which we found our fathers doing, even though their fathers understood nothing, nor were they guided. Sahih International Translation, Quran.com. Yusuf Ali, multilingual, Surah 43, verse 19. Again, in this ayat, it is stated, and they make into females angels who themselves serve Allah. Did they witness their creation? So, could it be that these angels, or, yes, female angels, is it a creation, or is it this also I have been contemplating upon? Or what is God's creation and what is God's manifestation? And is it fair to ask them this question? Did they witness their creation? Did Prophet Muhammad, the messengers, any Musa, Harun, Isa witness? Or did Abraham witness when Allah was creating everything? Was he with them? No, he was not with Allah. Were they with him? So maybe you'll find why they were not with him, and later on they were told. But then how were they told later on, right? From this Zukhraf, Surah Zukhraf, you can find that it is in the al Kitab, and they were told through the al Kitab. They have knowledge from Allah. So why can't these people have knowledge from Allah? And this is unfair. The way to ask them that did they witness their creation? And if Prophet Muhammad is a witness, then as we are told in the Quran, after Allah is a witness, Prophet Muhammad is also a witness, and Allah is a witness of Prophet Muhammad, then Allah should be a witness of their creation. Why is he asking, and shouldn't Prophet Muhammad be a witness of everything then? The creation and everything, and what is a witness? You know what the witness is. You must find that out too. What is the origin of a witness? What is that witness? So continuing, 20 verse. They say if it had been the will of Allah, most gracious. They call him the most gracious. We should not have worshipped such deities. It's funny that the Quran mentions it like this, right? If it had been the will of the most gracious, we should not have worshipped such deities, or in brackets, okay. Of that they have no knowledge. Of that they have no knowledge. They do nothing but lie. What? 21. What, have we given them a book before this to which they are holding fast? Rig Veda is there, Vedas are there, Upanishads are there. So many of the Hindu books, ancient Hindu scriptures are there. Buddhist scriptures are there. For Jainism, perhaps their scriptures are there. 22. Nay, they say, we found our fathers following a certain religion, and we do guide ourselves by their footsteps. So, aren't you now, as Muslims, guiding yourself by your forefather Abraham and what came through the messengers? And now it's in a book recorded, as you say, the Quran. So, questioning this way is not fair and logical. Quran is quite illogical and unfair. There are discrepancies in the Quran. I found here Moses is not killed, but his people are killed and then given life. Moses just went in a swoon here. Even Moses asked to be, not only there where we are told in Surah Baqarah that the people asked Moses to, uh, you know, ask God if he can show his face to us. So, and the fire, the funny part is that the fire which these Samiri caste worshipped, I have to look at that. And then I will continue later with that, the Samiri caste fire, and tell you how maybe, something's wrong with Moses also as a prophet, and maybe the Samiri caste were not wrong. So thank you very much. The fire is the clue. So contemplating on the fire. Thank you very much. I will come back later as Azan is going to start. Thank you